Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome along to the first live webinar of 2021. It is the continuation of the collaboration between Property Tribes and our friends and partners at Lendlord. And joining me throughout is Lendlord CEO and co-founder Avram Shahar. And we've got a very exciting evening lined up because it's another landmark release for Lendlord, and that is the integration of open banking. And over the next 40 minutes or so, we are going to be explaining what this means for Lendlord users and also having a demo of how to use the open banking, how to integrate everything into your Lendlord account. So Avram, yes, as I said, very exciting for Lendlord, getting off to a fantastic start in the new year with this very exciting new rollout of open banking. But I guess for those that don't fully understand what open banking is, perhaps you could just quickly explain.
Sure, yeah. So thanks, Vanessa, and hi, everyone. So open banking, basically, it allows prop tech companies or technology companies to implement solutions for users, and in this case, for landlords, with one API that can provide access to their bank accounts data, read access, and basically reconciliation of like all the transactions into one platform. And then there are many uses that platforms can do with this data. So there are platforms that can use it for like tenant referencing, and there are platforms like Lendo that use it for tracking your cash flow, expenses on an ongoing basis, rent collection. So basically you can be on top of everything. And if you maintain several bank accounts, then like in one, a few clicks, you can integrate all of them to one platform and see the high level overview of your entire portfolio. And of course, it makes the insights that you see on Lendlord more accurate in terms of your performance of the properties.
And this was something that was asked for by the Lendlord user base, wasn't it? It was on the roadmap already, but you kind of brought it forward because so many people were asking for open banking integration.
Yes, definitely. It's something that we heard like on a weekly basis from users that wanted to link their bank accounts, because some users, there are like systems, like if you look at the accounting softwares like Xero,
Sage, yeah,
like QuickBooks, all of those are softwares that basically good for bookkeeping, but basically for any business. In order for them to support property business, you need to make adjustments. At Lendlord, we want to also be like the bookkeeping place for landlords. And because of that, linking bank accounts was very important thing to do, because basically it automates everything. And so you will not miss any transaction that happened, and you just need to map it. And I will show after that, we also have like automatic mapping that the engine will do for you. And of course, you can review it after that and make the tweaks. So yeah, so I think it's very important if we look at the vision also on like making tax digital and many things that will come in the future. It's something that many platforms will start to offer.
Yes, very good point. Making tax digital is in the pipeline. So this is kind of future-proofing your portfolio for when that does actually come into play in the UK. Avram, Lendlord chose to partner with Plaid. If you could just briefly explain the process, because it did involve FCA regulation, and we hope that will give users confidence to integrate their bank accounts into Lendlord.
We chose Plaid as our partner. Plaid is a company that implemented open banking in the UK, but also in other territories like in the US. So Plaid is regulated by the FCA. So in order to provide open banking integration, you need to be regulated by the FCA. So they basically got all the approvals and they implemented all the APIs of all the banks. So basically, like from the Lendlord aspect, we just use one API and all the communication with the banks is on Plaid. So basically, Lendlord is not storing any of the users' bank credentials, and also the communication with the bank is not from Lendlord servers. It's something that this is the responsibility of Plaid, and they have all the regulation they need to of course, like to apply, like to be compliant with the FCA. Lendlord also got the approval from the FCA to act as an agent of Plaid. So if you go to the FCA website and see like the Plaid agents, you will see our companies there. So this process, by the way, took us, I think, like 9 or even 12 weeks to go through this process. So like Plaid, they did like a due diligence on Lendlord and the security of Lendlord, all of those stuff. And after that, the Plaid submitted our application to the FCA, and we got also the approval to act as an agent of Plaid and allow our users to use the open banking.
Should we jump straight to the demo, Avram? Because I think we'll start to see the benefits unfold as you go through that. And obviously the place to start is how to link your bank accounts into the Lendlord platform. So should we go straight to that?
Yes, yes. So can you see the screen?
I can, yes.
Okay, so so in the dashboard, there is now like a new button, link bank account. And you will see this button in other pages as well that's relevant to get transactions from your bank account. So in order like to start, you can click on link bank account. Now, because you can link more than one account, if you already linked a bank account, you will get this pop-up. If it was your first, if it's going to be like your first bank, you will see like a different pop-up, but it's the same behavior. You just need to click on continue. And make sure that you link only one, like you keep one connection per bank account. Because if you keep more connections, it can still be valid, but the platform will retrieve transactions basically twice. Okay, so now click on continue. So if you click on continue, then like now Plaid come into the picture, and this is basically Lendlord uses the API of Plaid. So here you click continue, you will get a list of all the UK bank accounts. You can search for your specific account. They basically have, I didn't still like here like a bank that they don't support from users. So once you pick your account, then Plaid will redirect you to the bank website. And this is like the same flow, the same behavior as you go now to the website and connect to your bank account. Here you need to put your bank credentials. And again, it's something that like Lendlord is not storing those credentials. Everything is secured. And Plaid will have a connection, like a connection to your bank account. I will not do it right now here, but after you link your bank account, you will get, so I just like exit this process. So you will get a pop-up that will ask you how much history you want to retrieve with dates. Once you decide, you will get the transactions to this pop-up that basically you will see like start like a wizard. Now, like starting the point you connected your bank account, then every day the platform automatically will retrieve new transactions. And once you log into the platform, you will see this pop-up. You will see it as well on the transactions page. I will see it in a minute. And you will also get a weekly email with a summary of all the transactions that were retrieved and what happened with them. And there is a dedicated page in the platform that we also demonstrate how to access it, that called transactions log, where you can see also which transactions were retrieved and what happened with them. So for this example, so I got just a connected bank account. I see there are like 12 transactions. I click continue. Then I will start to get the transactions one by one. So I have new income, £1,000. It's a net rent. I need to map it to a property. And if it's a tenant payment, then I can attach it to the relevant tenant. Now make sure that before you start linking your bank account, you have the property on my portfolio and you define the tenant on my tenants that attach to this property, and the platform created a payment schedule. After we'll do this wizard, I will show you also just like to make sure how you make sure that those entities exist in your account. Now it's easy, just you need to start mapping those transactions. So this is like a net rent. I will click map. Now, if there is already a transaction, like expense or income on your account on the profit and loss page, the platform will identify that there is an income in this month, and it will ask you if you want to override or to edit. Now, the thing is that like when you created your first landlord account on my portfolio, I will show it in this window. The platform automatically will ask you if you want to take the rental income and the mortgage cost and any other costs that you entered to the profit and loss, basically to track the historical income and expenses. If you use like a bank account, you can say don't apply. So there is like a button. I will show it like in a second. If I add a property, I add the rental income, just do it this. Then you get this, click don't apply. But if you already clicked apply, don't worry. Once you start to retrieve the transactions, the platform will ask you if you want to override or like to add this transaction. In this case, I will add it because, no, I will override, okay. Now there is like another transaction, an income. It's a refund that I got from this company. I can decide all the transaction from the last 30 days if it's a one-time payment or it's a recurring transaction. If it's a one-time payment, I will just need to map it to the property. It's not a payment of tenant, so I will leave it free. So I will check I will tick the one-time payment. If it's a recurring transaction, I should tick this, and then the platform will try to identify this transaction next time and auto map it. But in this time, because it's a refund, it's a one-time payment. I click map and I will get the next one. This is expense. This is my landlord insurance. I see it's from Ellen Boswell. This is not a one-time payment. I want to make it a recurring transaction. And it's also attached to this property. I can also add the category. This is landlord insurance. And I can click map. Another option is not to click map and just like to click ignore, or I can close this wizard. Don't worry, all the transactions will be on the transactions page and you can map all of them from there. So just for the example, I will click ignore. Then another expense, ground rent, I will make it as a one-time payment for this property, click map. Another expense, this is my tax. This is like a payment I made to my accountant. I will take it as a one-time and I will track it on the entire portfolio. So this expense is not attached to a specific property. This expense is for the entire portfolio. The category will be accounting fees. By the way, the categories, it's something that is like predefined, but you can change the category name and the color by clicking on the edit and icon. And you can also add new category. So you can basically add any category you want, pick the color, and basically use your own categories. So in this case, I will mark it as accounting fees for the entire portfolio. I click map. Now our expense, this is a roof repair. Just for the example, I click ignore. Okay, this is a rent for John, 1,200. I will mark it as a recurring transaction. This property, this tenant, click map. Yes, I want to override because the platform already pre-recorded like a rental payment of this property, but now I want to track it just like the actual transactions. And there is another expense. This is the insurance for February. I will choose to ignore it for now. Now, after I finish this wizard, I will see the summary. There are 5 transactions that I mapped. I can see them now on the profit and loss and the expenses breakdown. And there are like 3 unmapped transactions on the transactions page. So Vanessa, I stop here, like if there are questions about the wizard or perhaps.
Yeah, we have one question that has been submitted by, let me just see, Hitesh. And he says they have 3 bank accounts for their portfolio, 2 in Hitesh's name and 1 in his wife's name. Can they pull data from all 3 accounts using the open banking integration via Plaid?
Yes, definitely. So the way doing that is go to your settings page. So in the settings, there is like a new section, bank accounts. So you can see like in this account, I already connected 1 bank, but I can click on this and I will get the pop-up that just to make sure that I already connected this bank. And if I click continue, then I will start again the process with Plaid to connect another bank account. And I can do it for as many bank accounts that I own or I want to connect. Just make sure that you don't connect the same bank account. So keep 1 record per bank account.
Peter is asking, is there a connection from Xero from Lendlord? And if not, is that on the development roadmap? He would find that very useful.
So yes, it's in the roadmap. But what we found is that there are users that, you know, once the landlord is linked to their bank accounts, they can manage their entire bookkeeping. We know that not all the functionality is there yet for Landlord, but we will keep enhancing it. But we're still looking on like integrated the platform to some accounting softwares. Yes, It's not there yet. Yeah.
So what we've kind of already started to see is that this open banking integration with Lendlord is going to be extremely useful for lots of different things, but one of the key things is rent collection, because we all like to know when the rent has been received. Fingers crossed that it is, and likewise if there's a delay in the rental payment, we want to know as soon as possible. And the great thing about open banking is that it's in real time. So as soon as there's a payment made to your bank account, it translates across to Lendlord in a very short space of time. And this helps you really track your rents. Is there anything you want to add to that, Avram?
Yes, I think this is the thing. Like once you connected your bank account, the engine of Landlord will retrieve the new transactions every day. And once you log into the platform, you will see the pop-up with how many transactions were like retrieved and you need to map. But if you don't see this pop-up, or like you decided like to skip this pop-up, you can go to the transactions page. So how you access the transactions page, go to the profit and loss page, click on transactions. And here you can see all the unmapped transactions. Okay, if you recall, we had like 8 transactions, 5 we mapped, 3 we haven't mapped. So they are here. So I can still like basically take care of them from this page. And then I will also like receive like an email every week that will tell me how many transactions the platform retrieved in the last week, how many unmapped, how many auto-mapped, and how many mapped manually. Mm-hmm. And another important page for that is the transactions log. So if you access this link from the transactions, you can see all the historical transactions that were mapped and what happened with them on which date. So you can see that I retrieved like this transaction from Ellen Boswell, £12. This is like still unmapped. But I did map the refund from Lewis Ltd manually today. So you can also have like some kind of a log of all the transactions. And of course, the place like where basically you can see the picture, like 2 places. You mentioned the rent collection, Vanessa. So the rent collection, first you can see on the dashboard the high level, the status. So this is like a demo account with only 1 property. And we mapped in the wizard before a payment from John. It's like a demo tenant. So basically it's marked as paid, okay? And you can also, from my tenants, go to rent collection. And here you can see for February that it was paid, but you can apply filters backwards, and you can see like perhaps there are like payments that like either you did it tracked or like were not paid. But in this page you can track like which payments are due, which payments are overdue, and of course which payments were paid. And you can also play with filters and filter just, let's say, the overdue payments and take care of like of those payments. And of course, like once you link bank account, then you don't need to worry, because if there are like overdue payment, you will also get a notification to your email or like on the notification sidebar. So here you can either like send a reminder to your tenant if you keep his email address on Lendlord, and you can of course update the text you want to send him. Or like track the payment if it's just like you missed this transaction, you haven't mapped it yet.
Well, that email reminder is awesome. I mean, that's really going to increase efficiency and save time to have all that kind of standing by ready to go if you need it. Hitesh is asking, can you use this for HMOs when you have multiple tenants paying rent? The answer is yes. If you inputted the property as an HMO, you would have been asked to input the individual tenants and their individual rent payment. So it's very similar to what we've already demonstrated. It would just be rent coming in on a room by room basis. Is that right, Avram?
Yes, it's right. You can add as many tenants you want with their tenancies. So like just like put the tenancy start date, tenancy end date. And if it's an HMO property, you can attach this tenant to the property, and then this property will have like multiple tenants, and each tenant will have its own payment with its own frequency. Just need to put the first payment date, and the platform will now create for you the payment schedule for this tenant. So now in the rent collection, you will also see Aviram that needs to pay £800 every month. So now once the platform will retrieve transactions from your bank account, or if you do it manually, then you can track it and then be on track. And if you don't track it, you will get a notification. So yeah.
Wendy is asking, if you link more than one bank account, would they appear on the same transaction page?
Yes, they will. On the wizard, there is like a way to it shows you which bank, like from which bank the transaction arrives, and you can also track it on the transactions log. So in the transactions page, actually perhaps it's a good enhancement, like to put also from which bank account this transaction arrived. But for now, so we can make this announcement soon, but for now you can see it on the transactions log. So you can see, like, currently I have only one bank that is attached. So you can see the transaction description and the amount and which bank account it derived from.
Mm-hmm. And Peter has asked, can the information in the P&L accounts on Lendlord be used for accountants at the end of the year to assist with your self-assessment tax return? And yes, yes, yes. That's one of the main things about it, isn't it?
Yes, I think so, definitely. So first, you can track all the expenses. Of course, now we have like the bank account integration. So basically, everything will be like automatically, and you can see, like, you can pick the dates like historically, and you can see all the expenses and the breakdown. You can also upload receipt to any expense. You can play with the categories, so you can see, okay, how much I spent on landlord insurance in this period. If you have undefined transactions, just map them and they will disappear. And you can export all of this data in one click to Excel spreadsheet. And if you want also to export the income side of your account, then you can use the export from the profit and loss page. And this is a bit more enhanced. So if you have more than one property, you can pick which property you want to export, from which months, and what to include in the Excel spreadsheet. The purchase cost is something that usually you don't need it for your accountant, because usually it's like, it was like when you purchase the property. But of course, if you want to fetch the monthly income and the monthly costs, click export, and you will get everything that in the profit and loss page to an Excel spreadsheet that you can share with your accountant. And in the roadmap, we have also like the feature to allow third party to visit your account with permission. So if you want your accountant to review your account, it's also something that will be feasible in the future with Lendlord.
Fantastic. Alice has raised a question. She asks if using this will make it easier with lenders to secure better rates. And the answer to that, Anis, is that lenders are looking at different client profiles of people, and they are looking for people who are running their property businesses in a professional manner. So this using this software and using it to present your case to a lender will definitely help. Now, as to whether it will secure you better rates, I can't say, because it's very personal to you, but something that Lendlord is going to be looking to do is to work direct with lenders to start getting our own products that will only be available to Lendlord users, because you are managing your business in this professional manner. So, regardless of all the other benefits of using it, it is going to assist you in the future. We're building an ecosystem of products and services around Lendlord that is going to expand over time, and part of that will be bringing in specialist lenders and specialist products for Lendlord users. So it's definitely worth setting your business up in this format, because the direction of travel for landlords is and it's coming direct from government, is they do want to professionalize the sector. So using all these digital tools, it's almost future-proofing your business, actually, would be a fair way to describe it. It's just good practice as well, makes life so much easier as well. Okay, Wendy again, I don't use Excel. I have a Mac. Can I export files to numbers or save as a PDF?
Yes, I will answer that in a minute. Just like one note about the previous question. So, so I think that the best way to keep the information you need for different providers, perhaps we will do some predefined views for that, is to use the views feature. So in the views feature, you can define different views. So there are like 3 that the platform generates. The default usually will contain also your mortgage details. This is like really relevant data for lenders and brokers. The performance view will show like all the fields that relevant to the performance of your properties in terms of yield, cash on cash, cash flow, and also predictions to the future. And the equity is very simple view, just like to see like how much equity you have for each property. But you can define different views by clicking add new view. Just select the columns you want in this view, and you have like more than 100 different attributes that you can store on Lendlord. So you can basically define your own views and export them in one click to Excel spreadsheet. Now, in terms of the Mac question, it's a good question. I need to check that. I don't know. I need to check and come back. But it's a good point. Like if you can export it to a numbers file or a PDF. I think definitely we can do something for that. So let's
We will look into that, and
yeah.
we will come back on that one for you.
Can I step in here a second? It's Nick, incidentally, from PT. With respect to the numbers thing, I have downloaded stuff. Abiram, just to confirm this, we're downloading the files in a CSV or an XLS, aren't we?
So, no, I think that this is what perhaps we need to do, because currently the format is XLS.
Yeah, I do believe you can open it in numbers, but we will check up on that one for you.
Yeah, thanks for your question. That's really helpful. Hitesh is asking again about HMOs. They manage most of their own properties, mostly HMOs, but they're mainly managed by letting agents. And when they get payments in from a letting agent, they're typically made of the rent less the agent's fees, less other expenses incurred during the course of that month. Are they able to break out that one payment from the letting agent into these multiple elements using the agent statement? And that's a yes to that, isn't it, Abraham?
Yes, great question, because we wanted to showcase this specific use case. So let's say you retrieved an income from your bank account. For this example, we did like manually. So let's say it's like an income that I received from my property manager. So it's a net rent, okay, of 1,800. Now, like behind that, basically we have 2 transactions. One is the rent and the second one is the management fees, okay? So in this case, just retrieve the transaction from the bank account, click ignore on the wizard, and on the transactions page, you have this button, split transactions. Click on it. Then you can split these to basically unlimited transactions, but you can of course start with 2. So first will be like the rent. This is the income, and I will put it as 2,000. I will even like attach it to a payment. Let's say it's like, okay, my payment for this property. And the second one is expense. And this is like the fees for the management. So I will category management fees. It's the same property. And this will be 200. So total amount is still like 1,800, but there are like 2 transactions hiding in this one transaction. I click split, and both of them are now appearing on my transactions page, and I can map them by clicking on map and copy, and they will appear in my profit and loss. You can also use this feature to break down expenses, or like do whatever you want, because the split basically will allow you to decide it's not expense and income, it's basically 2 expenses that share basically this amount. So I can put like 200 and 142 And basically, oh, sorry, it's like I clicked ignore, and then basically I can also break down it to 2 different expenses. Okay.
And presumably, that if there was a couple of other expenses in that same statement from the agent, you could split again and add another one.
Yeah, you can split as much as you need, basically.
Yep. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Peter, you've asked, how do you treat a repayment mortgage in this scenario? Can I just clarify, are you asking that from a tax point of view in terms of your mortgage interest relief? Is that what you're inquiring about? Can you let me know on the chat? By the way, we found out today on Property Tribes that 99% of landlords use interest-only mortgages.
99. I
99%. So yes, there's only very, very small minority of landlords that actually use repayment mortgages.
For this webinar, but you can check our deal analyzer and like compare if you have like a capital and interest mortgage, or like if you're interest only. You can also take like existing property, and then with the deal analyzer check what will happen in the future if we switch to like a repayment of capital and interest. It's very interesting, but it's not.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Peter. He's clarified his question. How do you treat a repayment mortgage in this scenario in respect of a limited company?
So I think that if you want to separate the actual capital payment from the interest, use the split transaction. So receive the transaction from your bank account. We can override this. Okay, so let's say that this is a mortgage repayment. Of 400. Then you can, and then this is like this is the way it arrives to your account. Click the split button, and then you can basically mortgage capital. Sorry. Capital payment and mortgage interest, and both of them will be expense. I understand that you need to do this calculation by yourself, but we have the logic, so perhaps we can, Nick, if you write it as a note, because we can enhance it and like extract the interest based on the data we put on my portfolio, so we can do it. But this is like the way, so I can take this 400 and say, okay, 300 was capital and 100 interest. Usually it would be the opposite, depends on like where are you in the life cycle of the mortgage. And also I can then classify this as a mortgage cost, and this is a mortgage interest. If I want to add, I have this category. But of course, like I can also add other categories if I want. And then just like make sure that you attach it to a property, click split, and then you have the mortgage capital payment, the mortgage interest, and just map them here, and it will both be on your profit and loss page, and everything will be tracked.
There you go. I hope that answers your question, Peter. We're just coming to the end now. We're hoping to keep this at around 45 minutes. We believe that to be a kind of optimum duration, unless anybody has got any more questions. We're more than happy to carry on a little bit further, but I think the main thing that we wanted to finish on, Aviram, was just to discuss the pricing, because
something before one more important thing, if we can demonstrate, is like how you can retrieve transactions like on demand, because we got a lot of questions about that. So so excuse me for that, it will be very short. So if you let's say that you connected your bank account, you decided to retrieve like a history of like several weeks, and then you want to retrieve more transactions. So in the transactions page, and again, you can access the transactions page from a profit and loss page, click on retrieve transactions. Then you will get a pop-up. You just need to pick if you have like more than one bank account, just pick from which bank account you want to retrieve this information and select the period you want to retrieve transactions from, okay? Don't worry, it won't be tracked unless you track them. So you can retrieve whatever you want and you can delete it after that. It's not a problem. Then click retrieve. Okay, I retrieved now 3 new transactions. They were added here to the unmapped transaction page, but I can use also the wizard and I can map or ignore, and then I can take care of them on the transactions page. So basically you can also do on-demand retrieve from any bank account, and you saw in a few seconds Plaid retrieve all the transactions from a given bank account to your account, and then you can basically manage them. And if you retrieve something that is duplicated, just click the button, okay? And you can retrieve it again, so it's not lost. Basically, we have read access to your bank accounts. Everything is your bank account. We just consume the data and you can basically manage it on Lendlord.
Fantastic. Well, I hope everybody's starting to see the benefits of integrating open banking into the Lendlord platform. It really is adding steroids to what Lendlord can do to help your landlord life to be much easier and more efficient and save a great deal of time. So yes, Avram, we did want to explain about the pricing, because Plaid is not free to Lendlord. Lendlord has to pay a fee to Plaid to be integrated. So what have you arranged in terms of the pricing?
Yes, so for in order to allow that, we needed to create a premium plan for Lendlord. It will also include, we get requests for the due diligence of property, number of searches for postcode, also in this plan. But the main thing, of course, is linking the bank accounts. We want the people to start using it, so it's currently free by March 1st. And and for new user after that, it will be still 14-day trial after March 1st. And the cost will be £12 if you're on a yearly plan, and £15 if on a monthly plan. And something important is that if you use our providers, and we have users that do it, then you can basically earn cashback points. So let's say if you want to use our broking provider or insurance provider, you can start earning points, and then you can pay also the premium plan with points once you get them, or you can get a cashback to your account, of course, your bank account. So this is the current plan is we need to charge for this service.
Yes, and we've had commentary on Property Tribes that this is actually less expensive on a monthly basis than a lot of other comparable plugins. So yeah, it's a necessary cost for Lendlord to supply this service. We've always stated that the core functionality will remain free to use. There's no intention to change that, but you should regard this as a premium add-on service, and there is a small monthly cost associated with that, probably worth every penny and then some, and less than the price of a cup of coffee a day. So we just wanted to explain that so that Lendlord users know that that is the situation, but also that we've arranged this free trial so that you can have a little bit of a play about with it and decide if it's right for you. Because obviously people with larger portfolios may think it's going to be more beneficial than somebody with just 1 or 2 properties. So it's there for you to try free of charge and see how you get on with it. And of course, if you have any questions, there's loads of ways to interact with Lendlord. You can ask your question on Property Tribes. You can visit the Lendlord platform itself, where there is a chat bot, and Avram and his team are manning that throughout the day. And we've had wonderful feedback, Avram, about how interactive you are and how quick you are to answer questions. And also, we also provide a Calendly link if you want to book a personal consultation and demo with Avram direct. you can book into his calendar, and we'll put that underneath this video when it's published on Property Tribes tomorrow morning. So if you do want a little bit of extra support or help, or you've got a complicated portfolio and you would like a little bit of help of how to map it into the open banking, then Avram is there to assist. That's what we're here for. So everybody, I think that's pretty much through with the questions. Thank you, Peter, for saying it's impressive. And yes, it's work in progress as well. So all of your feedback is very helpful to us to fine tune it. Avram has got his Calendly link up there, but I think he sent it privately. So I don't know if you want to, there you go, way. Okay, any final words, Avram?
Yeah, just trying to write on the chat. So session with me, if someone wants to schedule, feel free in this link that I just sent on, just put on the chat. Look, I think that this is the future, automation, and this feature will allow you not to miss anything. Basically, all the transactions will be in one place, and we'd love to get your feedback. So everything is free until March 1st. You don't need to put credit card. Just try to use it, and please provide us the feedback so we can.
Could you just demonstrate, Avram, how they sign up for the free trial? There's a couple of people asking.
So you
go onto the platform.
You just click on the link bank account, and the pop-up will show up. Let me perhaps use like a user that we didn't, demo user that we did it. And perhaps this user.
And just quickly, while you're doing that, I'll answer Paul. This webinar will be published to Property Tribes tomorrow morning. So if you want to catch up on any bits that you missed or review any of the demo, it will be there for you. And it will also be on Lendlord's YouTube channel as well, where there are other little demonstration videos and tutorials and things. So you can go and have a look there as well.
Yeah, I don't have like account that it's without this. So basically, it's very easy. Just click on the link, the button, link bank account, and you will have like a pop-up and click link my bank account. So you don't need to put any credit card or something like that by March 1st. So yes,
so
here it is.
Just clarify, Avram. They have the free trial. When the free trial runs out, will it pop up as if you want to continue now, put in your bank details, or how will that work?
Yes, it's here. I manage that. Okay, so on the dashboard, click on link bank account. You will get this pop-up, and this is by March 1st. That it's free throughout the whole of February. Click on link my bank account, and then you will be redirected to Plaid to connect bank account. So it's like one click right now. After March 1st, you will have to start like a 14-day trial with credit card details. But until March 1st, like we want people start using it, get feedback, and see if they see benefits of using it.
Yes, definitely. So thank you everybody for joining us this evening. You guys are, in the top percentage of landlords who see the benefits of digital technology and are using this to your advantage. And we really do appreciate so much your feedback and, the nuances of everything that you've shown us this evening, that where we need to tweak a few little things or add a few little things. That is what this collaboration is all about. You are part of the Lendlord development team in a way, aren't they, Avram? And we're very appreciative of all your feedback, and we do listen and we do act on it. So thank you very much, everybody. If you've got any other questions, Avram is available on the chat, as I said, or you can ask them tomorrow on Property Tribes on the thread where we release this video. We're always here to answer questions, and please don't hesitate to ask. But I guess that's it for now. Is it, Avram? Anything to say? Wendy's going to give it a go. Yay, Wendy! Go, Wendy! But yeah, I think everybody can see from that that quick overview that the benefits. And once you've mapped all the activity in your bank account, then it kind of takes over from there, doesn't it?
Yes, yes, yes. And any like if anything you need from Lendlord team, we are in this chat bot, and also you have my a calendar link. So feel free to schedule. I love to speak with user, get ideas, and understand your needs, so we can keep enhancing the platform.
Yeah, awesome. So thank you everybody for joining us this evening, and we will see you either on Property Tribes or indeed on the Lendlord platform. We do these about once a month throughout the year to help people really get the most out of the Lendlord platform, and this collaboration between Property Tribes and Lendlord is ongoing, and welcome along on the ride. It's great to have you on board, but for now it's good night from myself, and good night from Aviram in Tel Aviv.
Good night.
I always feel like a what is it, Eurovision TV presenter when I say good night from Tel Aviv, and I'm good night from Guildford.
Good night. 12 points. Bye bye. Bye everyone.
Bye everybody.